Hello, welcome. I am Fikiri, the Dark Feminina, and the reigning Cleopatra, the Cleopatra the Ninth, and the Lady of the Lake, the Lady of the Lake of England and of the world. Um, I am the Cleopatra of the ages and the Lady of the Lake of the ages. Um, I am uh, mindful that how people understand my messages would depends on personal interest and personal beliefs and responses to the old religions, which are Christianity of an earlier time. There is no conflict between the Christianity of Kialo Tutsi of the ancient world, when people were following the real thing, and Christianity of their time involved the what you can actually call it worship, because they're then of the created heavenlies, because they're um, the creator is in them. They have a role in life that is creator chosen, creator decided, um, and they have the name of the creator in them too. Um, the angel of the Lord and the Netta is what I'm referring to, and the Hebrew Bible is believed on by billions and insulted by millions. um, it is a matter of the creator's plan for creation, that the original long performer was Kialo Tutsi and the whole of Kialo before the rest of the world. Before the Middle East, before Asia, before Europe, before the Rees, before the Americas, at the helm, not um, first and basic, and everybody else is better. That's a modern untruth that people are following a very strange, insulting version of Kialo these days. Originally, Kialo was the original long and the most powerful kingdom and series of kingdoms in the world. The 18 original kingdoms of Kialo. At the helm, of course, is Kialo Tutsi, that is Masra, Egypt, the Nile Valley kingdom of Kialo Tutsi. And the first prophecies were given through Kialo Tutsi. Therefore, the Segudo prophecy, which the books of Daniel and not to mention two, the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation in the New Testament, are part of that Segudu prophecy, repeated again, given again through Kialo Jew, through the kingdom of Judah Original, which is the land of Israel altogether. She is an original unitary kingdom, and has had more than one exile in the past, in the Times book, which is why Papa Hustera and his son Abraham were living in Mesopotamia. That's why they were living in Ur of the Chaldees. They were born, I think it's in the time of Terah's father, that the people of Judah, of Israel, was sent into exile. The other kingdoms of that area, the other 9 kingdoms of that immediate area before Phoenicia and Afghanistan, to speak of those, what is now the land of the nation state of Israel. At different times, Canaan, the people of Canaan got it wrong, been sent into exile. At different times, so had the kingdom of Aram and at the kingdom of Amor, all the kingdoms at different times. It's not something exclusive to the Hebrew people have incurred the wrath of the Creator and been sent into exile in as punishment. At that time, the Hebrew people were a lot of Hebrew people were in exile or born into exile, and that's how the prophet Abraham was living in Ur of the Chaldees, which is in Iraq, Mesopotamia. As politics is as to the pro forma changes as to whether or not someone refers to Ur as part of Iraq, Babylon, or part of Persia. Just to mention that. But I personally, as I said in one of my much earlier videos, I do believe in the Creator, Feminina and Masculina, the Creator. There's only one. However, we're understanding the Creator. And I believe the Hebrew Bible, and I believe the earlier Bible. Papa, who is Abraham, he had a Bible. The Hebrew Bible that we're used to seeing, the Old Testament and the New Testament, is not the first Bible, the first written record of the Creator has given to the Hebrew people. Abraham has a dad, as we know, Papa who's Terah, who has a dad, who has a dad, who has a dad. There are a lot of generations before of the Hebrew people before we come to the first king of Judah and the founding of the kingdom of Judah, and in pro forma order, the following 9 and kingdoms of the first part of the Middle East, and then the kingdom of Phoenicia, Lebanon, and the kingdom of Afghanistan. Then the kingdom of Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an original unitary kingdom, and Saud is the original name, is the surname. Yes, there have been some change in its pronunciation, even how it's written, but it is the Saud family, the RUAE. In national insurance number, they are the Sedral family of Arabia. If you are RUAE and your national insurance number ends with A for Alpha, then you need to know where you fit within the family. If you've been born in another country or in another family and someone's saying you should fight, it should be yours, not necessarily, because it depends on exactly who your dad is and where he fits within the Saud family. It isn't everyone who's the king. So still, you still need to slow down a bit and find out exactly how you're related to the said kings of Arabia. Where was I talking? I was just telling you about my personal faith. I do believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost. I do also believe in the Creator Feminina, as some call the great goddess, and I believe in the daughter of God. And I know that each of those 5 members of the Godhead have many selves. And when understood aright, disputing within oneself goes and one's conversation changes. But when there is uncertainty and just a lack of clarity about the Godhead, it focusing on the God Masculina or the God Feminina or goddess feminina, it doesn't cancel the other out in reality. They don't suddenly diminish because of human lack of understanding. Um, no, they don't. They don't really. They're the Godhead. And it, some people are using religious understandings, sacred texts for ill, for Bié, for Isfet. They're fighting Ma'at. They're not honoring Ma'at. And the result of having a bad thought in the mind regarding the Godhead is that one then becomes willing to do all manner of Bié in service of, well, not holy, in service of the unholy. And that causes injustice, which causes torment and family strife, and just misunderstandings between friends and couples, uh, and nations end up on civil war and war with other nations that they wouldn't have if they were just choosing holy. It would start to go. Then you'd be left fighting maybe somebody else who's still not understood well and following something that isn't ancient law, it's ancient evil that got defeated by the holy in its time, or it got to, well, it eventually, even the longest standing horrible rule got defeated in the end. And that's the way of holiness. It wins in the end. The creator wins anyway, wins in the end. A lot of blood can be shed, a lot of distress and torment and just terrible things happening. But in the end, no matter how strong the rule of Bié, the rule of evil, no matter how long lived, it always been defeated. And everyone who uses Bié, you end up feeling guilty when you're honest with yourself. When all the attempts to stop yourself understanding and feeling as horrible as you should for deliberately causing injustice, hurt to others. And hurt, the word hurt is a Royom word, and it can mean everything from torture and death or torturous death to an upsetting conversation that's born of one or the other party's desire to hurt, wound the other. Injustice is just no fun, and it turns back, it betrays the person's secrets, and it sets them up for what they're willing to do, willing to support being done to unjustly to another person. So I do believe in the Bible. I do believe in concepts of the Bibles of Kialo Tutisi and of Kialo Ko, South Africa, of England. Is understood well. They're a part of life together. They're a part of each other. They're different folky different focuses. Some hate that word, but on the Godhead. But as long as we are within the will of the Creator, then we're doing well. Yes. Imperfect, yes, but we're doing well if we've understood the Creator well. Dark, yes, I am Fikili, the dark feminina, and welcome, by the way. Blessings to you if you've got this far. The religions of the world, of Kialo Tutisi, of Kialo Jew, of the Hebrew people, and of the varying religions of the world, of different nations. Certainly Kialo Tutisi and Kialo Jew, that is Judah, all the original land of Israel, they talk about dark blackness. There was blackness over the surface of the deep. There was darkness, blackness. And out of that, the original blackness is holy. It is Nefer. It is holy. And Nefer is an old Kialo Tutsi word that means holy. Blackness, you see, people use words, the same words, to mean different things. So there's blackness, which is holy. There's darkness, which is holy. It's not always sweet and nice, but then the Bible shows us God is not always sweet and nice with us, humans. So it should come as no real surprise. But the original Kompra of the world is the Black Kompra. The Black Kompra came first, and followed by the Dark Kompra. Yes, and as if that's what you're referring, honoring, cool. You're still aligned with holy. It's the original Kompra given to humanity. And creation was made out of blackness. It was made out of darkness and brownness. And of course, unfortunately, I should say, the enemy of life, the Adui, the adversary, it doesn't like life. So it corrupts everything and gives a version that introduces real BA, evil, real Isfet, real evil kind of chaos. And some people, in trying to gain power, have done just that. That's what was happening in 700s and 800s in England, that has become written up helpfully by J.R.R. Tolkien. This, if you scry it, this is what he was referring to in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and his other books. He was talking about histories of England that were not in favour as to be continued as necessary teaching. So he put them in literary form. So, as I've said in lots of my posts, the creator and the created heavenlies, the heavenly beings, the angels and archangels, the Netta, the gods and the saints, and all of our ancestors, they go in to the person's mind. They get into our hearts, into our thinking, into our imagining. And the next minute, there's a book about. There's a novel about. There's a song, a poem, and a piece of artwork, or lots. Yes. Music, symphonies. I mean, there's just so they put themselves in our minds because they want us to know their stories, because they know we need to. And it helps us see literature. It helps us be connected to the past, and everything that's happened in The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings has happened in other kingdoms of the world at varying times. And unfortunately, some today are trying to imitate Sauron as he was then, and as his Sauron dad was then. Eardwulf, Riadwulf. In the past, in Europe, of course, people used magic and knew it was real. Some had more understanding and familiarity with it than others, but some only felt its use as people ill-used it and hurt people with it. But it is real, and it is also under the control of the creator, as I once said a few years ago on my Instagram. It's sounds impossible to a modern Western Europe that doesn't want to openly acknowledge the reality of Heka, of magic, because they fear being mocked, derided, losing their jobs, their careers, their reputation. I mean, you lose your reputation. It's possible actually to lose your reputation for saying the truth wholly by people who aren't interested, minds are closed, and it's awful. But it is. There's also, as Gandalf said in the Lord of the Rings, it is not only the working of evil in the world. There's goodness too. There's heroism too. There's desire to be heroic too. Um, it's worth. That's why I say pray. I know lots of people are not really having any particular faith in the Creator, or even in asking their ancestors, or they just mention spiritual anything, religious. You mention religion, religious anything, and the cynical. They don't really believe. But you could try it. Not heka, but prayer. I hesitate if you have no religious interest, and it depends on where your heart's at as to whether or not that would be a good idea. You might hurt someone and end up in court rather than not knowing why you did it. Yeah, because it can be tricky, the world of magic. Um, um, it can be difficult too, even when in holy, even when the person who's we get tested, so it can be difficult using magic. But prayer, we can all pray, we can all pasha and ask the Creator and the Netta and our ancestors. We can. Is it possible that anything she said is real? Why not? Go ahead. It's good. It's good to double check things. And how do you get to double check? You pray, Pasha, Shlola, Scry, Douse, Divinare, and you ask, you plumb, and you delve and you ask the truth pool. But you have to be willing to learn from the truth pool directly. I mean, anyway, yes, learn to ask the truth pool. As I explained how to in about 3 videos ago, can't quite remember, 2 videos ago maybe. You take a body of water, a bowl of water, or a cup of water, a tumbler of a glass of water, and you say what you want it to be. Truth pool, be the truth pool. You'd be surprised you don't need to be a priest or an archmage for that to be honored by the Creator. You say with intent, truth pool, be the truth pool. And you need to intent and genuine wish for that because it's truth you want. And keep asking. Why not keep asking? It reveals a question that reveals an answer that makes you ask another question. Why not ask another question? You could also ask questions of wisdom, like such as rather, should I try magic? Should I join this sorority or this fraternity or this order? Is it the right one for me? Should I join this traditional secret society? Should I make one? Should I anything? Should I make a meetup? Should I organize a meetup group? Should I marry this person? Should I leave this person? You can ask as is almost like a conversation. But I am the dark feminina, to return to what I was saying, because I am created to be the black goddess, the black queen, the dark goddess, the dark queen. I am the dark feminina. I'm also the black feminina. I only didn't call myself the black feminina because I thought it might put some people off if they were nervous, afraid, and assumed I was going to be talking about, you know, not always right, but sometimes people can discuss these matters or talk about these matters in ways that are really difficult for the hearer, for the person watching the video. So I wanted the person not to assume I was going to be talking about colonialism or something, but to hopefully have a more immediate interest in why she's calling herself dark. And I know I've got criticized if she calls herself dark, then she must be evil. Sauron was dark, he was black, and he was wicked. But as I say, there are people, there is the dark compra that is holy. There's the black compra before it that is holy, of the creator. Both the black compra and the dark compra, black energy, dark energy, if it really is black energy and dark energy, then it's holy. What people use corrupted forms of, or use corruptedly, if it's not a holy corruption, sometimes there's a need to break it open and start again. But you need the discernment to know what's being referred to. So I am the dark feminine, not because I'm evil at heart and I'm supporting